changes.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome in. It's Friday. I have no idea what day it is, June 12th, I think. Anyways, the retail apocalypse continues. Over 2,100 stores have announced they are closing in retail brick and mortar locations. To give you guys an example, I'm going to take you over to my iPad here. I'll screen share with you in just a second and I'll combine these videos. But in 2018 and 2019, the last 2 years, 8,000 and 9,300 stores closed. Now, the increase, 8,000 in 2018 and 9,300 brick and mortar stores in 2019. The reason is obviously the downturn in brick and mortar sales coming into 2019. The increase in Amazon really started to blow up around 2017, 2018. So not surprising. Before those years, they were in the 5,000 and 6,000 store range. This year, they are estimating 25,000 stores will close. That is 3 times 18 and 19, somewhere in that average. Except they're already approaching half that number, and we are halfway through the year. But I think that it's going to be more like 30,000 stores are going to close. Let's go down the list. I'm going to cut this video right now. I'm going to drop my head somewhere in the corner, and I'm going to show you guys this. This is from fastcompany.com, but there's also a ton of other websites covering it. I'm going to show you the list. It's mind-blowing, all of the stores that are going out of business, on top of everybody that we've already talked about this year. JCPenney, Macy's, Sears, all those, which I'll link below in that video. But let's take a look at it right here. Okay, so here we go. Even Zara is closing stores. They will be closing 1,000 of their, or 1,000 to 1,200 of their 7,400 locations. Sales are down 44%. So that's right around 18 to 20% of their stores. A big company owned by Inditex closing all of that. Zara, again, a mall brand, a walk-in traffic type clothing store, not surprising. The Children's Place closing 300 of its 920 locations in the US, Canada, and Puerto Rico. That's 30% of their business. Signet Jewelers, they own Kay, they own Zales, Jared, and H. Samuel. Remember when you're price shopping, those stores are competing, but they're actually owned by the same business. They're going to close 380 stores. I did not research this, but if I remember correctly, they have around 1,000 combined locations. That would amount to almost 40% of their business closing. All 89 GH Bass and 110 Wilson's Leather stores will no longer exist. Out of business. However, they do still have internet and online sales. How long that will continue, we will have to see. Tuesday morning, a store that I didn't even know existed. It is here in Florida. Closing 230 out of its 700 stores, recently filed for bankruptcy, almost 25% of their stores. I do not believe they will last. Guess closing 100 stores in the US and China. Don't know how many locations Guess has. If I had to guess, between 500 and 1,000, so probably a little bit lesser of a hit to Guess. So they're expecting 20,000 more total stores to close, with a total of 25 end of year. To give you some context, in 2018 and 2019, 8,000 and 9,300 stores closed respectively. The increase was due to the obvious blow up of Amazon between 2017 and 2019, but also because of C-19 here in 2020. They're saying 25,000 stores. I'm pretty sure we're already over half of those. If we're looking at what's above, that's 2,100 stores this week. The last time I talked to you guys about Macy's, Sears, JCPenney's, Pier 1 Imports, which I'll link that video down below, maybe 2 videos, that you can check out the other businesses closing. Those were thousands of stores. We've got to already be, we're halfway through the year, but we've got to be at about 10 to 15,000. I think we may end up closer to 30,000 stores closing this year. Insanity. Okay, and they mentioned the closing of Forever 21, Pier 1, Papyrus, AC Moore, Macy's, Sears, and also Victoria's Secret, owned by L Brands, which is closing 238 stores, and JCPenney closing a third of its 846 stores. So all closing. And if we come over here to the original Business Insider article, you can see an entire list. I'll link this again. Walmart closed 3 stores, but they do that all the time. Hallmark closing 16 stores, and they're saying that the owner in the Illinois location that the greeting card market is just not the same. It's not a viable business. He's right. Nordstrom closing 16 full-line stores, 19 total. Neiman Marcus closing 20 of their last call clearance centers. Express closing 31, which is 100 total, 31 this year and 100 total. They operate about 400 stores, so 25% of their stores closing. Lucky's Market, it's South Florida. We don't have these, but they're laying off 2,500 employees and closing 32 locations. Bed Bath & Beyond, 44 locations. Don't know how many they have left, but 44 has to be a big number. It can't be more than a couple hundred. So at least 10 to 20% of their stores. Kmart, 45 stores. Didn't even know they had that many left. Bath & Body Works, owned by L Brands as well. Not doing as well as some people thought they were. They thought they were doing better than Victoria's Secret, closing 50 stores. Earth Fare, never heard of them, 50 stores. Sears, 51 more stores. They intend to close 96 total. They're owned by parent company Transform Holdco, which will operate just 182 stores after all of these close. Olympia Stores, 76. I don't know. They were purchased by Jackrabbit. I don't know anything about them. There's our guess with 100. Bose closing 119 stores globally, including all of its stores in the US. I didn't know they had their own store. Art Van Furniture. Macy's, another 125 stores over the next 3 years. They only have a few hundred left, so 30%. AC Moore is shutting down all 145 of its locations. Announced the closing in November, and about 40 locations will be converted into Michaels. Modell's, that's a sporting goods store, 153 stores. They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in March, and it's planning to close every store they have. JCPenney, 30% of its stores. Forever 21, 178 locations in the US and 350 stores worldwide. Destination Maternity, 183 stores in the US. The company owns stores under its namesake brand as well as Motherhood Maternity. Wilson Leather and GH Bass, 199 total stores. That's all of them. Chico's, 200 stores, 250 total, including 90 White House Black Market, 60 Somas. Company has closed 49 stores, leaving about 200 more expected closures. Walgreens, 200 stores. They announced the cut of 750 stores, which Walgreens is expected to complete by the end of the year. That's an interesting one to me. I don't know why Walgreens is closing 750 stores. Tuesday morning, all of their 230 closings this year of 700, so over 30%. Gap, 230 stores. Gap said about 130 locations will close this year and the other 100 next year. Victoria's Secret, 238 stores. Papyrus, 254, and it's closing all of its stores. Signet Jewelers, 300 stores. So they run more than 3,000 under all those bans. So it's actually only 10%, so not quite as bad. Gamestop, 320 stores. They've closed 333 and opened 12. So it's a net 320. I don't expect GameStop to last too much longer. Pier 1 closing all 450 stores. And that gets us to the top. So there's 4,300 stores are closing in 2020 as the retail apocalypse drags on. That is the full list from Haley Peterson at Business Insider. Wow, it's shocking, not surprising, but shocking. Absolutely shocking to actually see it happen in our lifetime. Okay, so that's it. That's the continued decline of the US brick and mortar retail shopping experience. What your parents and us as 25 to 35-year-olds, I'd say more like the 30, 32, 35-year-olds, grew up with, going to the malls, hanging out at the malls, shopping at the malls, our parents taking us there to buy school clothes or shoes or whatever it is, it just doesn't exist anymore. It's over. Like, you're talking about 4,300 stores. I mean, how many stores are in an average mall, right? What, a couple hundred stores, 200, 300 stores, right? So we're talking about 20, 30 malls closing down, just whoop, gone. An entire Florida worth of malls or more, right? In this area, we've got about 6 major malls. We've got 2 in Tampa. We've got a third kind of on the outskirts of Tampa, 1 in St. Pete, 1 in Lakeland, 2 in Orlando. So this whole area has only got 7. If you added up all the malls in Florida, you'd probably get like 20. You're talking about taking all the retail stores in Florida that are in malls and just closing them. That's how many malls and stores are closing, spread out across the country. If this happens for 1 or 2 more years and 20, 30, 40,000 more stores close in addition to the last 3 years losing 30,000 to 40,000 stores, malls will become a thing of the past. They won't exist. By the year 2025, I would be very, very surprised if more than a handful of malls existed. Outside shopping centers and open air, yes. Legitimate malls that look like that, I don't think so. I don't think there's a place for them anymore in our society. What do you guys think? How do you feel about these stores closing? I'm really bad for the people that have jobs there. Where are they going to work? But I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Leave it in the comments below. Tell me what you think. And I'll keep continuing to post them as more and more close. We'll update it again in another month or two, and we'll see where we're at. But 30,000 stores could potentially close this year. Big business, big loss. The economy churns on. We'll see what happens the rest of the year. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. See you next time.